Namaste, beautiful. Welcome to this slightly over 1 hour yoga class for beginners. This class is assuming that you are quite new to yoga, so either that you have not practiced yoga before or that it is something that you are still generally unfamiliar with. There is a lot of explanation of how to do postures, explanation for why we do certain things. So it doesn't have the same flow to it that my classes for more experienced practitioners has. So if you are a more experienced practitioner, then you can go ahead and search my page for those classes and take one of those instead. And if you are new, I am so happy that you chose to be here with me, and I really hope that I am able to start you off in a way that makes you feel excited, that makes you feel centered, and that guides you toward the path of enlightenment, because that is what we practice yoga for. So I just want to talk briefly about that. You don't need to listen. You can skip to the chapter where we start, or otherwise, then you can listen to my little speech about yoga and why we practice. So, yoga is essentially the practice of taming the mind. So, yes, it helps us get stronger. Yes, it helps us be more flexible. And what the word yoga means is unity. And so that means the unifying of our mind, body, and soul. Maybe you've heard that before. It also means the unifying of ourselves to the collective. So when we are uniting our mind, body, and soul, then as we are going through these postures that are strengthening our body and that are stretching our body, guess what? Because our body is so connected to our mind, we are also strengthening and stretching the mind, which is helping us to become more connected to our soul and the collective. Yes? So on this channel, then you can find other classes that are strictly movement. You can also find more philosophy classes where I talk about the other limbs of yoga. They are all important. And whether or not you are keeping in mind all of what I just said, it's still going to happen. Yeah? So if you're coming here and you're like, okay, yeah, sure, I just want to get more flexible, it doesn't matter. You're still going to become more flexible in your mind and your body. If you want to be stronger, same thing. Okay? So if, however, we do come to any practice with a different intention and we really hold it before we start the practice, then we are going to also be working toward that intention. Yeah? So let's be mindful of that. And one last thing. You might want a block for this practice. There is one posture in which we might want to use the block. So if you know that you have a little bit less mobility in your body and you have a block accessible to you, then go ahead and grab it. And now, let's begin. All right, so we are going to begin with centering. This is how I start every single one of my own practices as well as all of my classes, and it is how I recommend that you start your own practices as well. This is one of the most, if not the most important part of the practice. This is the time that we take to begin the connection of the mind, body, and soul, to begin the connection to the collective, to just be, to be in the room, to be in our bodies, and it sets us up for a successful practice. So, that being said, you can find your position. I recommend some kind of cross-legged position. If it helps to find your cross-legged position, you can be sitting on a block or on a pillow or something that raises up your butt so it's easier to have your feet and your knees on the floor. The purpose of crossing our legs like this is that we are stopping the flow of energy down and helping the flow of energy up, which is essentially the entire point of yoga. So, that being said, go ahead and find your position. If you want to take Pawanmuktasana, so maybe this is how you see yogis sitting in the movies or statues or whatever, and it's because this is the most effective in cutting off that flow of energy down and assisting the flow of energy up. So you can start this way if it feels comfortable in your body. If you have any kind of pain in your knees, your ankles, hips, anything like that, please choose a different position. You don't want to start out hurt, right? All right. So all of that being said, let's go ahead and center. Yeah? Placing the hands onto the knees. I generally have mine facing down at the beginning because what I want at the beginning is more grounding. Again, choose as works best for you. Let's close down the eyes if it feels comfortable. And just breathing naturally through the nose. Beginning to draw the attention inwards. And maybe at this time there are other thoughts entering your mind. So let's try to be gentle in that experience. So don't try and push them away. Instead, just kind of let them happen while trying to pull the attention to the present moment. If you want, you can have your eyes directed toward where your third eye would be with your eyes closed. This can be helpful in centering, in being present. Let's just do a scan of the body and notice how we're feeling. So noticing from the top of the head, down the face, the back of the head, to the neck, the shoulders, down the arms, to the hands. And the chest and the upper back, down to the belly and the middle back, and the lower belly and the lower back, the hips, down the legs to the knees, down the lower legs to the feet. Now let's just bring the awareness to where we are seated in the room, in the world, in space. And then let's take a second to remind ourselves that where we are right here and right now in our bodies, in space, we're safe. And we're ready to begin moving. So let's go ahead and blink open the eyes. And let's start the movement from the base of the body today. So we're going to warm up the joints. This is called the Pawanmuktasana. This is how in Hatha Yoga, the original yoga, all practices are started with the warming up of the joints. This is also super important. I strongly recommend doing it, not skipping it. And also you can do this alone any day. This is how I start my everyday with Pawanmuktasana. Yeah? All right, so let's stretch the feet out in front of us. Again, if you need to be seated on something to make it more comfortable, you can do that. And let's start with our toes. So we're going to pull the toes back toward the body, keeping the foot straight here. Okay, so we're not moving our ankles yet. We're only moving the toes. And with an inhale, we're pulling the toes back. And then with an exhale, we are squeezing them. Okay, so again, just the toes, not the ankles. And then let's do it 10 times. Inhaling, flexing the toes back, and exhaling, squeezing them. Inhale. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale. Exhale, squeeze. 5 more. Inhale. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale. Exhale, squeeze. 1 more. Inhale. Exhale, squeeze. Now we're going to move into the ankles. So we're going to inhale. We're going to pull the toes back while flexing the ankle. And then we're going to exhale and we're going to point our toes forward using the ankle as well. Yes? Inhale, flex. Exhale, point. Inhale, flex. Exhale, point. Inhale, flex. Exhale, 4. Inhale, flex. Exhale, 5. Inhale, flex. Exhale, 6. Inhale. Exhale, 7. Inhale, flex. Exhale, 8. Inhale, flex. Exhale, 9. Inhale, flex. Exhale, 10. Beautiful. Now we're going to circle our ankles. So we're going to inhale, we're going to circle them up in one direction, and then exhale and continue the circle coming down. Inhale up, exhale 2, 3, inhale up, exhale 4, up, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Switch directions, inhale up and exhale down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now we're going to move to the knees. So we're going to keep the feet flexed, okay? So bring the attention to the feet, keep them flexed. Take your right leg and hug it in toward your chest. Interlace the fingers and place them underneath the hamstring. Keeping both feet flexed, keeping the back nice and straight here. Then we're going to inhale and we're going to straighten the leg, the right leg, and then exhale and bend it. Inhale straight, exhale bend. Inhale, exhale bend. Inhale, exhale bend. Inhale, exhale 5. Inhale, exhale 6. Inhale, exhale 7. Inhale, exhale 8. Inhale, exhale 9. Inhale, exhale 10. Switch legs. So now we're going to straighten the right leg. keeping the right foot flexed. Take the left leg, bring it toward the chest, interlace the fingers, place them underneath the left hamstring. And we're going to inhale, straighten the left leg, and exhale, bend it. Inhale, straight. Exhale, bend. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale. Exhale, 4. Inhale. Exhale, 5. Inhale. Exhale, 6. Inhale. Exhale, 7. Inhale. Exhale, 8. Inhale. Exhale, 9. Inhale. Exhale, 10. And straighten both legs again. Continuing to keep the feet flexed. Again, hug the right leg in, interlace the fingers, place them underneath the right hamstring, and now we're going to circle the knees. So this one can be a little bit awkward, a little bit harder. So if you're having a harder time keeping the back straight, if you're having a hard time having enough space, then you can go ahead and lie onto your back and circle them this way. Otherwise, stay seated. Yes? All right, here we go. Inhale, straighten and circle up. Exhale, down. Inhale, up. Exhale, 2. Inhale, exhale, 3. Inhale, exhale, 4. 5. Inhale, up. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. And switch directions. Inhale, circle up. Exhale, circle down. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. Switch legs. Straighten the right leg. Keeping the right foot flexed. Hug the left leg to the chest. Interlace the fingers. Place them underneath the left hamstring. Inhale, circle up. And exhale, circle down. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. Switch directions. Inhale, circling the other direction, coming up, and exhale, coming down. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. All right. Now, we're going to, again, come into a cross-legged position. If desired, I recommend crossing the legs again to open the hips here. You can also keep your legs straight as they were before if that feels better for you. The reason that I am recommending this is because after we go from our head down, then we're going to come back to our hips. And if we're already sitting this way, then we have done a little bit of work toward opening them. So it's going to be easier to open them more when we get there. Yeah? All right. Again, you can place the hands onto the knees. And now we're going to go into the neck. So we're going to inhale and we're going to look up. And then we're going to exhale and we're going to bring our chin to our chest. And we're going to do it 10 times. Inhale, up. Exhale, chin to chest. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale. Exhale 4. Inhale. Exhale 5. Inhale. Exhale 6. Inhale. Exhale 7. Inhale. Exhale 8. Inhale. Exhale 9. Inhale. Exhale 10. Come back to center. Now we're going to circle the neck. So we're going to circle. We can go over to the left or right, doesn't matter. And bring it back with an inhale. And exhale, bringing the head forward, chin down to the chest in a circle. And keep going 10 times. Inhale, circle back. Exhale, circle forward. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8, 9, 10. Switch directions. Inhale to the right or the opposite direction, coming back. And exhale, bringing the head forward. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, let's get into the wrists, yeah? So bring the hands out in front, straighten the arms, flex the hands up as we inhale, and then flex the wrists, bringing the fingertips down as we exhale. Inhale, exhale 2, inhale, exhale 3, inhale, exhale 4, inhale, exhale 5, inhale, exhale 6, inhale, exhale 7, inhale, exhale 8, inhale, exhale 9, inhale, exhale 10. And come back to center, make fists. So however you want to make the fists, I always put my thumb inside, but you don't need to, you can put it on the outside if you want. And now we're going to circle. So we're going to circle, you can go to the right, left, doesn't really matter. As we inhale, and then exhale down. Surprising, right? Inhale up, exhale down. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Switch directions. Inhale, circling up, and exhale, circle down in the other direction. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Getting into the elbows. Straighten the hands such that the palms are facing upwards. And now we're going to inhale, and we're going to touch the shoulders, and exhale and straighten the arms. Inhale, touch the shoulders. Exhale 2. Inhale, exhale 3. Inhale, exhale 4. Inhale, exhale 5. Inhale, exhale 6. Inhale, exhale 7. Inhale, exhale 8. Inhale, exhale 9. Inhale, exhale 10. Inhale, touch the shoulders again. Exhale. Now we are going to circle out the shoulders. And so what we're going to do, we're going to inhale, we're going to bring the elbows together and then bring them up until they can't touch anymore. And then we're going to send them toward the back. And as we exhale, we're going to bring the elbows down behind us until they reach the bottom. And then inhale, bring the elbows together, bring them up. Exhale, bring the elbows back. Inhale, bring them up. Exhale, back. Inhale. Exhale, 4, I think. Inhale. Exhale, 5. Inhale. Exhale, 6. Inhale. Exhale, 7. Inhale. Exhale, 8. Inhale. Exhale, 9. Inhale. Exhale, 10. Now we're going to switch directions. So now we're going to inhale as we bring the elbows back, and then exhale as we bring the elbows together in front of us and bring them down. I so don't really need to turn around when there's a mirror right there. So inhale, exhale 2, inhale, exhale 3, inhale, exhale 4, inhale, exhale 5, inhale, exhale 6, inhale, exhale 7, inhale, exhale 8, inhale, exhale 9, inhale, exhale 10. All right, now you're going to see why I told you to sit this way. So now we're going to take our feet together in a butterfly position. So Again, if it feels more comfortable to be seated on a block or a pillow or something, please take that modification. Otherwise, if you have nice flexibility in your hips, you can stay seated on the floor. So try and keep the feet so that the whole feet are together. The balls of the feet, the heels are together. Hold them together with the hands. And now we're going to begin flapping the knees like a butterfly. So start it small. And as you do so, I want you breathing in to the hip flexors. Okay, because as we start to do this, no matter our level of flexibility, for almost everyone, when we start to do this, what the hip flexors are going to do is they're going to try and tighten up. They're going to try to keep from opening. Okay, so we're going to use our mind and we're going to use our breath to send the message to the hip flexors that they can, in fact, open more than they try to. And so then once it starts to kind of warm up, you can feel it, right? You can feel it loosening up. Then start flapping harder, pushing the knees down as we flap. Yeah, so we want to be using this momentum and this kind of quick movement to be getting the knees lower than they would be if we were just seated in a static position. Yeah, and so again, the instance of flapping down, don't push your legs like that. The instance of flapping down is continuing to send that message that they can open more, because they are in fact opening more every time you push down. Yeah? Let's keep going a little bit longer, harder, faster. Another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop. All right. Now, if it feels comfortable, again, you can be seated on the block. Maybe if you want to now take a seat on the block or pillow or whatever, if you weren't before, you can take this time to do that. Now we're going to fold forward. Okay, so this is really nice for opening the hips, and this is going to help prepare us to better sit cross-legged, to better get to our meditative position and better experience our emotions. There's a million benefits to it. Yeah? All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to be bringing our heart down toward the floor. Okay, so we don't want to be rounding. We want to be bringing the heart forward, nice straight back. I mean, not completely straight, but generally straight back. Bringing the heart down, and we're going to go really, really slowly. Okay, so just slowly allowing for the hips to open. We're not pushing our knees with our hands. We're using our hands to keep the feet together, and we're using our mind to keep the knees down. As we gently, gently, slowly bring the heart toward the feet. Once our heart touches our feet, if our heart touches our feet, then at that point we can go ahead and bring the chin down toward the floor. Again, going as slowly as needed, going however deep makes sense for your body, feels good for your body at this moment. And we're continuing to breathe into our hips here. Yeah, so breathing through the nose into the hips, and you can either breathe out the nose, or if you want, you can breathe out the mouth, doing kind of like cleansing breaths to work on opening those hips. And again, do not press them like I just did. Just allow gravity in your mind and your breath to help with the opening of the hips. All right, beautiful. Let's inhale and come up. And now, guess what? We're going back to a cross-legged seated position. It's kind of like will help us to more gently come out of the butterfly. And now we're going to go into some twisting. So we're going to inhale, we're going to bring our hands up toward the sky, up toward the ceiling. And we're going to exhale, we're going to bring the right hand behind us and the left hand to the right knee and twist. And we're going to inhale, bring the hands up. Exhale, twist to the left, taking the left hand behind us, the right hand to the left knee. Inhale up. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale up. Exhale, twist left. 2. Inhale up. Exhale, twist right. Inhale up. Exhale, twist left. Inhale up. Exhale, twist right. Inhale up. Exhale, twist left. Inhale up. Exhale, twist right. Inhale up. Exhale, twist left. Inhale up. Exhale, twist right. Inhale up. Exhale, twist left. Inhale up. Exhale, twist right. Inhale up. Exhale, twist left. 7, I think. Inhale up. Exhale, right. Inhale up. Exhale, left. Inhale up. Exhale, right. Inhale up. Exhale, left. One more. Inhale up. Exhale, right. Inhale up. Exhale, left. Beautiful. All right. Now, we're going to move into some cat-cows. So, we're going to come into our hands and knees, tabletop position. So, we're going to check such that our hands are underneath our shoulders and they are about shoulder width distance apart. Our knees are under our hips and are about hip width distance apart. We can either have our feet such that they are untucked, or if it helps with stability, you can have your feet with your toes tucked underneath, okay, to help stabilize you as we go into our cat-cows. So now we are going to inhale into cow. And as we inhale, we're going to bring our tailbone up toward the ceiling. We're going to bring our chest forward. And we're going to bring our belly down toward the floor. And we're going to look up toward the ceiling, either at our nose or between the eyes. And then with an exhale, we're going to pull the belly button up toward the ceiling, round the spine. We're going to look toward the belly button. And then do it again. Inhale into cow, arching the back, looking up. And exhale around the spine, belly button to the ceiling, looking toward the belly button. Inhale, cow, arch. Exhale, cat, round. Inhale, arch, look up. Exhale, round, look to the belly button. Inhale, arch, look up. Exhale, round, look to the belly button. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round. Keep it going. 5 more. Inhale, arch. Try to make it bigger every time. Exhale, round. Pull the belly button all the way up. Look toward it. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round. Inhale, arch. Pull the shoulders back. Exhale, round. Keeping the shoulders away from the ears. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round. Last one, I think. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round. All right, let's come back to our tabletop position. And now we are going to go into one of the most famous poses in yoga. We're going to tuck our toes, we're going to push our hips up and back, and we're going to come into downward facing dog. And guess what? We're going to make sure that we are doing it correctly. So, if we go directly from this tabletop position, we tuck our toes and we push back, we should be the correct distance from our hands to our feet. Yeah? So that's a nice way to measure it. Our hands should continue to be about shoulders width distance apart, and like I said, if they were like that before, they should still be that way now. Our feet should continue to be about hip width distance apart. And so if you cannot have your heels on the ground here, that is fine. If your heels are on the ground, they should be tucked behind the toes such that you cannot see the heels. Nice straight line in the feet. Yeah, so they're not turned in, they're not turned out, they're nice and straight, parallel to each other. Yes? Our hands are nice and strong. We should have most of the weight in the front of the hand. Okay, so that we're not putting pressure on our wrists. We have most of the weight in the top of the hand, in the ball of the hand, and in the fingers. Yes, so if you want, you can have your fingers so that they're kind of bent and they're gripping the mat here. Our hips are up and back. Yes, so we don't have an arch in our back, but we also are not super rounding our back. Our hips are up and back. So our tailbone is kind of pointed like to the corner of the back of the room. Yeah? Our shoulders are away from the ears, and what that means is that our armpits are such that they are kind of looking toward each other. Yes, so we're kind of making a nice space between our shoulder blades in the back. Yes? And we're looking up toward our navel. And that is probably quite enough of that position. So let's come out of it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to step forward with the right foot. We're going to move into this kind of fun little flow. So let's come up onto both toes here. Yeah, to help us to set up. So we're going to now take our right foot. So we want for our left foot to be such that our heel is about above the ball of the foot. And then we're going to take the right foot. We're going to step it forward between the hands, and we're going to make sure that our heel is still above the ball of the foot in the back. And then we're going to come up into a high lunge. So before we come up, let's try and make sure that our hips are nice and square. Okay, so that we're pulling kind of back on our right hip and forward on our left hip. We would like to have a right angle in our front leg, if possible. However, if you cannot keep your hips square, so keep them so that they are both in the same position relative to the top of the mat, then you can change the angle of the front leg accordingly. Yes? So this is what we're striving for. Anywhere in between here and here is fine. The back leg, we would like to have the heel so that it is over the ball of the foot. However, if you need to have your heel down, that's also fine. The thing is that that is going to make your hips want to be unsquare. And also then we're going into warrior one, but I'm purposely teaching high lunge instead because it's easier to keep the hips square this way. So yes, it's a challenge on your balance. Yes, it is burning on your legs if you are holding it. And yes, we are going to hold it for a couple more breaths. So let's bring the hands up, look toward the hands, and let's hold for just 2 more breaths because I was talking for a while. Breathing nice and slowly, deeply through the nose. All right, beautiful. Now let's step forward with the left foot. Now we want for our left foot to be at a 45-degree angle, and our legs are such that they are on 2 different tracks. So like if we were to just step backwards, keeping that foot in the same position as it was before. Okay, so now we're going to find a pyramid pose here. So we can take our hands and either just place them so that our fingers are interlaced in the back to help us to open up the chest here. Or if it is available to you, then you can take a reverse prayer. So taking the hands behind the back, bringing the hands together, or you can hold on to opposite elbows. Something to help us to open the heart and the chest here. Yeah? So choosing your variation, let's now go ahead and fold over the front leg. So this is a shorter stance than before, and we're still keeping the hips square. And so now when we fold forward, we're continuing to keep the back straight. Okay, so this is part of why we have our hands behind the back like this, to help us to keep the back straight. Keep the back straight. So we're bringing our heart down toward the front leg. Okay, so we don't want to be rounding. Bring our heart forward. Yes? And then if the belly is touching the thigh, then we can go ahead and bring the chin down to the shin, looking toward the big toe of the right foot. And let's hold for a couple more breaths here. Pulling back on the right hip, forward on the left hip. Really putting effort into keeping those hips square. All right, beautiful. Let's place the hands down on either side of the right foot. Let's step the left foot back slightly. Now we're going to take the right foot and we're going to bring it back to meet the left foot into a plank position. And now we're going to bend the arms and we're going to come down all the way onto the belly. And now we're going to inhale and bring the chest up into a Cobra position. So we're going to continue to try to straighten the arms as much as possible while keeping the hips on the floor. And you can try a couple of different methods here. You can try relaxing the glutes and see how it feels, or you can try and squeeze them. I recommend relaxing them, but some people are going to recommend squeezing them. So notice what feels best for you when it comes to your back. Yeah? All right. Now let's exhale, come down, tuck the toes, and we're going to push all the way back into a downward facing dog. Okay? So straighten the arms, push the hips back, come back to downward dog. You might need to bring the hands in slightly to make it feel more comfortable. And now we're going to do the other side. So let's step our left foot forward now. So again, we're going to come up onto both toes so that we're setting up our right foot to be in the right position when we step forward. Now we're going to step forward with our left foot between the hands, squaring the hips here, finding the right angle or as close to it as we can get with our left leg. And now we're going to bring the chest up. We're going to bring the hands up. We're going to remember to keep the ribs in. And if we want to look up toward the hands, that is fine. I was talking for kind of a while on the other side. So let's hold for a few breaths here. Pulling the hips square, making sure that we're up on the ball of that back foot. Trying to go nice and deep into a right angle on the left foot. Beautiful. All right, let's step the right foot forward. Again, such that our feet are on two different tracks here. Pulling forward the right hip, backwards with the left. Finding the position of our hands. Interlacing the fingers. Grabbing opposite elbows. Bringing the hands together in the back, whichever feels best for you. Again, checking that the hips are square, and now folding forward, folding, 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 nice straight back. Bringing the belly to the thigh, and eventually bringing the chin to the shin and looking toward the left big toe. And holding for a few breaths here. Let's take two more. Beautiful. All right. Again, placing the hands next to the left foot. Step the right foot back slightly. Step the left foot back to meet the right foot. Coming into a plank. Come down all the way onto the belly. Inhale up into Cobra. So taking baby cobra or full cobra, whatever feels good for your body. Nice relaxed glutes, or again, you can try and squeeze them if it feels good. Our feet are still about hip width distance apart here. You can look up toward the ceiling. Play around with whatever feels good. You can play around with bending different parts of the back as well. So what I kind of want to be teaching you here is to listen to your body, right? To play with what feels good, okay? So where do I want to bend my back right now? What feels good right now? Yeah? All right. And let's go ahead and come down, tuck the toes, and straighten the arms, push the hips up and back, back to downward facing dog. All right, so now we are going to open the hips to the side. We're going to take warrior two. So again, we're going to step the right foot between the hands. You can come onto the balls of the feet first if you want to. I generally like to do that. And now before we come up, we're going to change the positioning of the back foot. So we're going to rotate it 90 degrees. And now we're going to rotate the hips. And then we're going to come up. So now what we want in our warrior two, we want for our hips to be such that they are facing the side of the mat, okay? Many people do this incorrectly. The correct positioning is that the hips are both facing this way. We are not to the side. We are not at an angle. We are facing the side. Yes? The hands are outstretched. Again, we have this right angle, so we really want for our knee to be directly above the right heel. Yes, we don't want it sinking in. We don't want it pushing out. We don't want to be over it too much. It's okay if we are up a little bit more, because not everybody, of course, is going to have the mobility in the hips to be in this right angle yet. One of the most important things, however, is that we don't want our knees sinking in. Okay, this can be dangerous for the knees. So try your best to find this position, stretching the arms out, finding nice line all the way from the middle finger of the left hand to the middle finger of the right hand, and we're looking over the fingers of the right hand. All right, we've been there for a while. Let's come out, straighten the right leg. And now we're going to step the left leg forward. And now we're going to turn it in ever so slightly. You can either have your left leg here such that it is continuing to be perpendicular to the front leg, or you can have it so that it's turned in slightly. I actually generally keep it so that it is perpendicular, because then we can have our hips in the right position, because now again we are keeping our hips square to the side. Okay, and this is why I have our block here. So depending on your flexibility, you may want the block or not. So now we're going to come down into a triangle pose. This is one of the first standing postures of yoga to ever exist. So that's why I'm including it in this class. Now, ideally, what we want is to have our right hand on the floor behind our right foot. My stance is a little bit too big for myself right now. And we want our hips, our butt cheeks to be such that if there were a wall behind us, both butt cheeks would be on that wall. And then our left hand is reaching up to the ceiling. Okay? So that's our ideal position. That's what we're working toward. However, that requires quite a lot of flexibility in the body. So to get there, we can take a block. We can place the block on the floor and then reach up. If the block is still not high enough so that our hips are, maybe they're falling forward, they're not open enough, then we can simply be hovering the top hand. Yeah? So we're working our way down, and we are not judging wherever we are in this process. If we want to take Ashtanga style, then we're grabbing onto the right big toe. However, traditionally, Hatha, we have our right hand behind the right foot. Some people teach it in front, and that's fine. Traditionally, it's behind. Okay? Now, I feel like we've probably been here for a while. Let's take a couple more breaths. Oh, and we're looking up toward the left hand. Beautiful. All right, let's circle the left hand down to also be on the other side of the right foot. Let's step the left foot back slightly. Take the right foot back to meet the left in a plank position. Bend the arms, come all the way down to the belly. Untuck the toes. And inhale into whichever version of Cobra feels best for you right now. Beautiful. Tuck the toes. Come down if it feels good first. And straighten the arms. Push the hips back into downward dog. Adjust your position if desired. All right. Left side. Come up onto the toes if desired. Step the left foot forward. Turn the right foot 90 degrees. Begin to square the hips to the side of the room. Check that your heel is in line. Your left heel is in line with the center of the right foot. Come up. Again, making sure that the hips are facing the side. Okay, that is one of the most important things. The other one is that our knee is not falling forward. Our knee is nice and in line with our heel. We are doing our best to have as close to a right angle as we can in the left leg. However, if we need to be straightening the left leg more or coming up more, that is also fine as long as we have our hips square to the side, right? Okay, finding our position. And out stretching the arms, nice straight line from the tip of the middle fingers to each other. Looking over the left hand, nice and strong in the entire body. Taking a few more breaths here. All right, let's go ahead and step forward with the right foot. Finding our triangle position. So, shorter stance, hips are still facing the side of the mat. Bring the hands out. And again, our block is probably going to be pretty necessary here. Most bodies are not quite ready to get that back hand down toward the floor. Okay, so we're pulling back on the right hip. We're imagining that both butt cheeks are facing or touching a wall behind us. We're reaching up with the right hand, looking up to the fingertips, remembering that we can also be hovering the left hand if it is necessary in order to have our hips pulled back. And if we have it, we can go ahead and reach down to the floor with the left hand, making sure that we still have a nice open hips here. And let's hold for a few breaths. Beautiful. All right, take the right hand to the outside of the left foot. Step the left foot back to meet the right. Bend the arms all the way down. And inhale up to whichever version of Cobra feels good for you. Come down, tuck the toes, push the hips up and back to your downward facing dog. All right, let's take it back down to the floor. So let's take the knees down. And come on up. Take the hands to the hips. You can either continue to have the toes tucked, or you can untuck the toes, whatever feels best for you in camel. So if you do not know camel, then we will start with one side. Okay, so we're going to take the right hand, we'll keep the left hand on our hip, and we're going to take the right hand, we're going to reach it back to the right heel, and then look up toward the ceiling, or if we can, look toward the back of the room. And let's hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, come up. Take both hands to the hips. Now we're going to go to the left side, so let's take the left hand and bring it back to the left heel. Try to keep it away from the ankle. And again, looking up toward the ceiling or all the way to the back. And holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's inhale and come up. If that felt like a lot for you, then you can go ahead and continue to do one side and the other. If you feel like you can go a bit deeper, let's go ahead and do that. So again, having the toes tucked, or you can try and untuck them if it feels like you have more flexibility in the back. So take your variation. Let's go ahead, inhale, reach the head up toward the ceiling, and then continuing to keep the hips so that they are over the knees. Reach back with both hands toward the heels. Again, pushing the hips over the knees, allowing the head to come back, and if it feels comfortable, to look all the way back to the back of the room. And holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, come up. Place the hands onto the hips, and exhale, sit down onto the heels. Let's rest for a second. Just notice any sensations that you feel in the body. You can close down the eyes if you want. Just breathing deeply through the nose. Beautiful. Now let's take the knees out to the sides slightly. And we're just going to come into a child's pose here. So let's just walk the hands forward, taking the chest down toward the floor, allowing the chin to come down toward the floor, the head to come down toward the floor, whatever feels good. And relaxing in child's pose. You can also have your knees so that they're together if it feels better for you. You can also have the hands so that they are back with the elbows, the elbows reaching down toward the floor and the shoulders coming over the knees, if that feels better. So again, listening to your body to choose your variation of child's pose just for a little rest here. Now taking this time to just breathe into anything that feels like it needs a little bit more attention right now. So maybe it's your back, maybe it's your hips, maybe it's your knees or your wrists, or it could be anything, right? So just using the breath to breathe into anything that needs extra attention right now. All right, and let's come on up. Beautiful. And now we're going to take some reclined twists. So straighten out the legs. We're going to come back onto the back. Now, depending on your flexibility, you can do this a couple of different ways. So variation number 1, take both legs together, bring them up toward the chest. And now we're going to slide the hips over to the right slightly, and then take the knees down together to the left, and take the hands out to the side. So what we want is to have our right shoulder so that it's touching the floor, to have a left knee so it's touching the floor, and the right knee so it's touching the left knee. Yeah? So if that feels a little bit too easy, then you can change it up. If it feels comfortable, stay there. So otherwise, if that feels easy, you can go ahead and straighten the left leg and then take the right leg over. So then our right leg is coming down a little bit farther here. Okay? And so let's be just breathing into any sensations that we might feel. So we're inhaling, we're searching for sensations. We're exhaling to release any tension that we might feel. This is pretty much how all practices are concluded in my own personal practice, in my classes, and in general, twisting it out. It's a really nice way to reset the back, and it's a nice way to kind of detoxify the body, get out anything that needs to be released. And of course, we can use our breath to enhance that process, yeah? All right, and let's inhale, come back to center. Again, choosing our variation. So sliding the hips over to the left a little bit, taking the knees down to the floor on the right side, bringing the shoulder down to the floor on the left side, looking over to the left. If that feels nice, go ahead and stay there. If you want to go a bit deeper, straighten the right leg and cross only the left knee over. Again, breathing into any tension that you might feel. And exhaling to release it. You can do so with the conscious intention of detoxifying if that feels good. All right, let's come back to center. And let's take our well-earned Shavasana, yeah? So let's take the feet out to the sides of the mat. Allow the hands to relax at the sides. Maybe move back and forth to find the most comfort. Take a nice deep breath and let it out. Closing down the eyes and beginning to relax the whole body. Starting by relaxing the tips of the toes, relaxing the knuckles of the toes, relaxing the soles of the feet and the tops of the feet. Relaxing the ankles. Relaxing the shins and the calves. Relaxing the knees. Relaxing the quads and the hamstrings. Relaxing the hips and the hip flexors. Relaxing the glutes. Relaxing the sex. Relaxing the lower navel and the lower back. Relaxing the middle belly and the middle back. Relaxing the chest, the heart, the lungs. Relaxing the upper back. Relaxing the shoulders, the upper arms. Relaxing the elbows and the insides of the elbows. Relaxing the forearms. Relaxing the wrists. Relaxing the palms and the backs of the hands. Relaxing the fingers, the knuckles, the tips of the fingers. Relaxing the collarbone. Relaxing the front of the neck and the back of the neck. Relaxing the jaw. Relaxing the mouth, the tongue, the teeth, and the lips. Relaxing the cheeks and the cheekbones. Relaxing the ears. Relaxing the nose. Relaxing the eyes and the eyelids. Relaxing the eyebrows and the space between the eyebrows. Relaxing the forehead. Relaxing the back of the head. And relaxing the crown of the head. Reaching above the head and relaxing the space above it. Reaching outside of the body to relax the aura. and resting in this deeply relaxed state. Take the next inhale a bit deeper, breathing deeply through the nose. And exhale it out. Beginning to move the fingertips and the toes. Beginning to move the wrists and the ankles. Taking the hands together, interlacing the fingers and reaching them up over the head. Taking the feet together and reaching them in the opposite direction from the hands. Inhale deeply. Inhale more. More. And open the mouth and sigh out anything that no longer serves you. I'll go ahead and roll over to any side, continuing to keep the eyes closed. Using the arm as a pillow underneath the head. And continuing to keep the eyes closed, go ahead and come up into a seated position. Take the hands back to the knees. And again, scan the body, looking for any sensations, any emotions, any changes from the start of the practice till now. And let's take the hands to heart center. And go ahead and blink open the eyes. Thank you so much for being here with me, for trusting me, for allowing me to guide you. I hope to see you soon in another class. With so much love, Namaste.